I'm going to go ahead and open the meeting. This is the Planning Commission. This is June 11th, 2024. We'll start out with a roll call.
Members of the board, Ali,
Present.
Grotman,
Present.
Schuman,
Here.
Abens,
Here.
Smolik is excused. Members of the administration, Assistant Law Director Morgan, Planning Development Director Lieber, City Engineer Evanson.
Okay, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, so everybody got a copy of the minutes from our last meeting? What meeting was that? May 15th. Any changes or questions or anything on the minutes? Okay, so I guess we asked to approve the minutes?
You can take a vote or accept as.
Well, I'll accept it. If there's no complaints, I'll accept the minutes as approved. Correspondence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just quickly review recent administrative approvals. There are 2 certificates of zoning compliance for new businesses, Mulligan on Sugar Ridge, a firearms manufacturer, and Ship Me, which is a packing and shipping retail store. There are also 2 administrative approvals for building alterations or additions. The first was on Liberty Parkway. The applicant in this case wanted to just replace some of the exterior building materials, add some overhead doors, and refresh the paint on the building. The other one, Sportsville, originally was on your agenda for commission discussion tonight. However, it was determined after we got some additional information from the applicant that they qualified for administrative approval. The project was entirely zoning compliant. They're going to be installing a metal pole storage building on the property to replace an area where they currently have bins for sand and other materials. So that was administratively approved and will be going through the permitting process. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, I guess we move to the new business.
PPZ 2024-0257, Elite K9, 31740 Cook Road, PPN 07-00-004-110-038. Applicant Heller Carpentry and Handyman LLC, 227 Main Street, Apartment 327, Westlake, Ohio 44145. Owner Chuck Stella, 31684 Cook Road, North Ridgeville, Ohio 44039. Proposal consists of constructing an addition to existing building for grooming facility, property zoned B3 Highway Commercial District.
Okay, let's start with Director Lieber.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have been in contact with the applicant and his design professional since the last meeting to collect the additional information requested by the commission and by staff. So we had a couple rounds of email back and forth where we pulled that information, both the site plan and the building elevation. So I had prepared a report on June 5th based upon the information I had at the time. I think I sent that report to Tina, and then that day we got another update from the applicant. So unfortunately, my most recent report didn't capture all of the changes that have been made. But in regards to the building elevations, those were revised and resubmitted May 24th. Sheet A2 has been revised to incorporate all of the discussed building changes in colors. The applicants indicated no lighting is proposed, so that the elevation seemed complete. Site plans were also revised and resubmitted to the city, first on May 22nd and then more recently on June 5th. So the question that we had about the drive aisle in relationship to the parking spaces, that's been resolved. I had a comment about plan notes indicating that there was going to be a shed removed and relocated, and I wasn't clear if that was the current or the future location. So just looking at the most updated site plan, it looks like that shed has been removed from that location. It doesn't appear a new location has been identified unless I'm just not seeing it on the site plan, so perhaps.
It's on there, it's behind the pool.
Okay, and maybe we just have a partial site plan.
I have a copy.
I see where it says, it's back by the pool, okay.
Oh.
So that resolves that comment. And then I think what slipped my attention until just this recent, in preparation for this meeting, was that there's now a proposed dumpster enclosure. So it was brought up to the owner previously that if there's meant to be a permanent dumpster on the site, that our code requires that it be enclosed and screened. And so I just wanted to point out that that dumpster enclosure has appeared on that June 5th rendering, and it's kind of at the end of the emergency access drive, which is quite a distance away from that commercial piece of the property, or where the business is located. So I was just curious as to like maybe why that location was selected, and to me it would seem maybe appropriate to have that location be closer to the business that it's serving rather than to the house. Also, you know, if it were moved closer to the commercial business, you know, we would want to keep the commercial traffic on the paved portion, on that pavement, and also then the other structures would also help screen that from open view from the street. So that is kind of a question mixed in with a comment for the applicant. But that concludes my report at this time. Thank you.
Anything from the city engineer?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to note to Mr. Stella, I do appreciate the larger scale drawings. They do make much easier for reading and would be most helpful to the engineering review, as also for our records. There were a couple of items that I hadn't had the opportunity to discuss with you, and maybe at this time you might be able to lend some additional information, but I did have a little bit of concern for the infiltration trench that is addressing the water quality measure that we had originally asked you to account for in the pre-hearing meeting. It appears that it might be under the kennels or in the kennel area.
Yes, it's behind the kennels.
Is it going to be behind the kennels?
Yeah, it looks like John put it behind the kennel.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't in the kennel area, because that could be a sanitation issue if you.
I want to make sure. We're talking about this here.
Right.
Yeah, this would be behind the kennels. The kennels are going to be up here. Yeah.
Okay. So is there some fencing there now that'll be relocated, or?
There is fencing there that's going to be relocated
Okay.
for the new building.
Okay.
So.
Maybe in the final drawings, we could just note that, well, it does say remove and reconfigure. So as long as that's out of the infiltration trench, I think that's acceptable.
So the infiltration fence or the infiltration ditch should be after the kennels, before the creek, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And
That's
I guess maybe you can just speak on behalf of your maintenance measures, I guess, in the kennels. Like, I would assume that they use the restroom in those kennel facilities.
They do, and we clean those 3 times a day. We clean them in the morning when they poop immediately.
Okay,
So when we take the dogs out, we take them out in stages. We clean that up immediately.
okay,
Because they step in it or they'll eat it.
Right.
Or who knows what they're, yeah, I know, right? So we're on that
Lovely.
right away. We
Okay.
don't leave any poop down ever.
yeah.
And one of our policies is to always clean. I don't want
Right.
lines off my policy.
Is there maybe some sort of measure you could put in on the last leg of the fence line of the kennels to maybe just ensure prevention of, you know, a washout, you know, of the,
Whatever you recommend, I mean, I can
No.
pretty much do whatever, but
Well-
it's 57 limestone.
for the trench itself. I just wanted to ensure that, you know, there wouldn't be any runoff from the kennel area that might make it into the trench. But we can discuss that during final review. I don't think that'll be an issue. I'm sure we could come up with something that,
Yeah, and it would be
a
urine,
berm
if
of some
anything.
kind.
I mean, urine's an issue, obviously. I
Yeah.
can't collect that, but as far as feces, we don't leave that down. That all
Okay.
gets disposed of.
Okay.
So,
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that during the
Okay.
final permit
Great.
process. And maybe you could speak a little bit to the emergency access drive. I see you do have signage there. Do you have a little bit of concern of ensuring that that's visible to the emergency services? Had you given that any thought? Perhaps some
Not
staking
really.
or?
I assume that we would tell the fire department that it's there.
Mhm.
We can put signage on both ends.
I see you've got the signage, maybe some additional staking or, you know, the little fluorescent markers.
I can do,
Driveway
like I said,
markers.
I can do anything that's, I know we planned on landscaping that so that in the wintertime, they would see that as well. because I do have to
Okay.
keep that plowed.
Right. I
So-
just think some simple measures might help to, you know, accentuate that area just a little bit better. And then one more comment I had, Mr. Stella, on I did get a copy of your wetlands permit from the Army
Okay.
Corps. And so I guess my question is, because it really doesn't allude to on the revised plans, is that work all finished? Did the culvert go in for the stream?
Culvert's not in yet.
Okay,
No, and we're not gonna build the bridge. I know, I always say the bridge, I do mean the culvert.
okay,
I don't have the money to build a bridge at this point. We just wanted to be able to gain access to the back property.
okay.
So a culvert pipe and backfill is gonna be it, at least at that point.
Okay,
The bridge will go in at some point down the road.
okay. I guess I would ask when you intend to do that work, to reconnect with the Army Corps, because I think that permit's closed, correct?
I don't think it's closed yet. I could be wrong. I mean, what do you mean by closed? Expired? I don't know if it's, I don't think it's expired.
Had you submitted this completion form? It looks like you may have signed this completion form. I don't know, maybe you didn't turn it in, but,
I did not turn the one in.
okay.
Yeah, I think I signed it, but I didn't know I was.
You didn't submit it.
Yeah, I didn't know I was supposed to sign it until it was completed, so.
Usually they do have terms on here for a length of time that they're valid, so I would, I didn't review that, but I would ask you to review that and ensure that if, you know, you exceeded your time period, you would ask for an extension if you wanted to do
I
the
will
work.
do that.
That was all of my comments.
Thank you very much. Law Department?
No legal issues,
Thank you. So will you wanna fill us in? I know you've been talking to these guys. You wanna talk about this at all?
Yeah, I know my neighbor has an issue with the dumpster. I don't know what to do with that dumpster. Believe me, out of all the property that I have there, I have no place to put that dumpster. The closest, the only place that I can put that dumpster that's reasonable is pretty far away from the building. We do have a golf cart and a wheelbarrow, and my maintenance guy generally takes the wheelbarrow, loads the bags of poop, takes them over there. Other than that, it's just a short walk. But I have no place to put that dumpster that won't crush my concrete. I had originally where the dumpster was, I had 6-inch concrete poured there. Then when we added the parking lot, we had plans of expanding on the back property, so I thought the dumpster would go back past the wetlands. Since that project can't go forward financially, I was stuck putting the dumpster at the end of the gravel driveway. That gravel driveway, of course, is gonna be concrete, but it's gotta be at least 6 inches to hold for the trash trucks.
What's the neighbor's issue? What are they?
The neighbor, my neighbor across the street is tired of looking at the dumpster, and I am as well. I see it from my kitchen window as well. So I'm not thrilled about it either, and the goal was to figure out where that was gonna finally go, but we had to wait for the fire truck access and all that to make a plan where that was gonna go. So if the fire access road's gonna go where it says on the drawing, if you're good with that, then I'm gonna put the dumpster there and enclose it. And I will do that immediately.
What about how about throwing some arborvitae's around it or something
yeah.
like that?
I was gonna, yeah, we always do nice stuff. We always plant bushes and all that. So I was thinking a vinyl fence and then some evergreens or something around that.
What material are you talking about for this enclosure?
It looks like vinyl fencing. There's vinyl panels that you can buy that are pre-made. I would need, I don't know if I have to go all the way around it, but I would need at least 4 panels plus the doors to keep anybody from looking at it. The backside would be facing the wetlands.
Would that be acceptable, you think?
I think a 4-sided enclosure is required, but if the commission's gonna require landscaping, I'd be pretty specific about what and where you would want that.
I can do 4 sides. It's not, I mean, it's a couple more panels. It's not a big deal.
Did you, to clarify, did you mention that you intend to pave the driveway?
Well, paving might be an option, but concrete is probably what we're gonna be doing. For the gravel road, the existing gravel road?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
probably concrete. I may have to go to asphalt. It just depends on how everything shakes out financially.
Okay. I guess either way, concrete or asphalt, you know, the emergency access drive, I feel like is being proposed as it is, just to provide connectivity. But, you know, if it's a commercial property, we do require any like paved surface to be, well, any parking or drive surface to be paved. So if that's gonna be the permanent location of the dumpster and it's gonna get commercial vehicle traffic to empty the dumpster, then the route to that dumpster should also be paved, not gravel. So if the applicant's indicating that he intends, whether it's asphalt or concrete, he's going to pave the driveway, then my concerns are less than if it were not intended to be paved. Does that make sense?
Does the plan shows exterior gravel drive. I'm assuming that's,
That's current and temporary. That driveway was put in initially. The problem that I had.
oh, that's existing gravel drive. I
That is
get it.
existing gravel drive.
I
put
get
it
it.
in last year.
Okay.
And that was to access the back property.
So the emergency access drive is going to be concrete or asphalt?
No, that would be the geocell. If we're still on the same page with the geocell, that'll be geocell and grass.
Oh,
And it'll just be maintained as an access road, safety access road.
which side does this open on, this dumpster?
Do you have the print there? Do you want me to show you that?
Yeah, I've got it here, but it doesn't really show which side it opens up on. Or I'm assuming you're coming at him from right here?
So this is my gravel driveway that's
Okay.
current right now, and that's
All
gonna
right.
be concrete or asphalt. The fire road is gonna go here. I want this to be concrete here, so when the truck comes in, he can dump and then he backs out.
Okay, so
We
this-
won't be using this road.
So this will be the open part of the...
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe we could put some arborvitae's across the side.
Yeah, because I can see it from my kitchen window, so.
It'd be nicer for you then.
Well, that's what I mean. I know my neighbor's upset about it, but I didn't have a permanent location. Originally, I wanted to put it back here.
Sure, further
but
away.
I'd have to build a bridge, and I just can't do
Okay,
it. Okay?
yeah, all right. Okay, let's, questions from committee. Anybody? No questions? Okay. Questions from the public? All right,
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
make sure I understand the existing gravel drive, you're planning on paving that over?
I'm planning on concreting it. I may have to pave it, just for financial reasons, but yes, it will be a hard surface.
Yeah, because if you leave it gravel with it being used, you're gonna send up dust. and
I was
maybe-
told I couldn't keep it gravel to begin with, so even when I
Yeah.
put it in, I knew that was temporary.
Okay, because I'll hear from your neighbors.
Well, my wife hates it on top of that. She hates driving up and down the gravel driveway, so believe me, I have to hear it.
Probably puts a lot of dust in her house as
Yeah.
well. The other question I have is, let's see, this would be the western side of your property. how would the fire department access that side of the building in case of a fire? Because it doesn't look like they can get a
Can I see
truck.
which side you're talking about?
Right in here.
There's a driveway there that's my neighbor's, that's custom lawns.
Okay,
So that would be the only access. I don't have anything other than that on my
Okay.
property.
okay. I just
There is a driveway directly there. On that runs
just don't want to see any major tragedies, yeah.
No, and we haven't discussed the fire hydrant.
I saw that you, it looks like you've installed one basically on your property, is that
I
right?
have not yet.
But you will be.
Yeah, it's gonna be right in the front yard, which puts me within that 300 feet of any portion of the building, I believe.
Okay.
So if that's getting paved, is that clear to you, Director Lieber, that existing gravel drive is gonna get paved, or?
I would always encourage the commission to add in your motion whatever conditions you feel are necessary, just to ensure that we have a good record of.
I think that's a good idea. Okay, so the existing gravel drive on the, what is that, the east side of the property, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, will be concrete or asphalt, right?
Correct.
And then, you got no problem with throwing a couple of arborvitaes around the, we'll say, I don't know, how big is that, dumpster enclosure?
The dumpster's not real big. The enclosure's probably gonna be 10 foot.
Okay,
Those panels, I think, are 6 foot, so it may end up being 12 foot overall.
okay.
So I would put in at least 3.
Three, maybe 4
One on either
footers or
corner, one in
something?
the center, and
3, 4 footers, something like that?
yeah, and
Okay.
on at least 2 of the sides, the side that I look at and the side the neighbor looks at.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay.
So, all right. So what are we talking about? A total of 6 of them?
Sounds
Okay.
about right.
All right. All right. And then, so this, you okay with this infiltration trench? Do we have to bring that up at all in our
Mr.
conditions?
Chair, we still have engineering
Okay,
review to do, so I think the details of that could be worked out during our final engineering review.
okay. All right, any further questions, comments?
Mr. Chair, the only thing I would like recommend, Chuck, is in the dumpster, just concrete, because those trucks get very heavy. Just so you don't get the ruts, just.
Oh, yeah, instead of asphalt, absolutely.
Just, around it, the approach to it, I would put, 6 to 8 inches of concrete.
I think the drawing specs out concrete, 6-inch concrete for the pad. So
Just
there'd
to
be a
the
pad
approach.
and an apron, I would assume. Yeah, I've seen what asphalt happens to asphalt. after
The trucks are so heavy,
Yeah.
they tear everything up.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right. Anybody else? We good? Okay, somebody want to make a motion? I'll go ahead and make the motion. Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we recommend, here it is, PPZ 2024-0257, subject to 6 arborvitaes added to the plan for the dumpster enclosure. And the existing gravel drive being either finished in concrete or asphalt. That is a gravel drive on the east side of the property. Is that clear enough?
Yep.
And I'll ask for a second.
I'll second it.
Ali,
Yes.
Groutman,
Yes.
Schuman,
Yes.
Abens,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
What else? We got anything else before us? Got anything further? Nothing? Okay. That concludes business tonight. Thank you.